Imagine waking up entirely alone in a dark, ancient, and freezing prehistoric forest. You have no smartphone, no flashlight, and absolutely no warm blankets to hide under. It is exactly 100,000 years ago, and the sun just vanished completely. Suddenly, a thick branch snaps in the heavy darkness just right behind you. Your heart races violently. Welcome to the absolute worst night of your life. Today, we simply lock our strong doors, turn on bright lights, and sleep safely. Our modern brains are totally used to soft mattresses and perfectly heated cozy homes. But back then, falling night meant only one brutal thing. You became easy prey. Why was this darkness so incredibly terrifying for every single one of our ancestors? How did early humans manage to survive without claws, thick fur, or sharp teeth? But the strangest part begins right here. Let us analyze your first ancient night. The very first thing that hits you is the absolute, crushing, and impenetrable blackness. A modern city is never truly dark because of glowing streetlights and bright signs. In the brutal wild, without a moon, you cannot even see your own hands. Your vision becomes useless. Your hearing sharpens, turning every tiny rustle into pure terror. Your modern brain begins to panic instantly. You feel pure, deeply ancient primal horror. That childhood fear of the dark is definitely not a stupid or empty fantasy. It is a harsh evolutionary scar, a strict warning that shadows hide certain death. And this is where things get truly terrifying. Physical threats are very violently real. Massive cave lions and giant hungry bears are silently prowling in the dark woods. You have absolutely no natural armor to protect your soft, incredibly fragile human body. Compared to apex predators, you are extremely slow, incredibly weak, and completely blind tonight. You definitely cannot outrun a hungry beast, and you certainly cannot fight it off. Your only tiny chance to survive is to climb a high tree and pray. Now imagine the absolute worst. The temperature suddenly begins to drop incredibly, painfully fast. Even during summer, ancient nights were unbearably cold without any proper thick winter clothing. Your spoiled modern body, so used to central heating, loses precious life warmth rapidly. Violent shivering takes over your entire body. It is desperately trying to stay warm. Hypothermia sneaks up on you silently. You feel exhausted. Then you fall deeply asleep. If you close your eyes on this cold ground, you will never wake up. And exactly this changed absolutely everything. Early humans realized they would instantly die alone. The ultimate prehistoric nightmare was being completely isolated, far away from your protective tribe. Humans are deeply social creatures. Banishment from the group always meant a brutal execution. Your brain literally goes crazy from the isolation, deafening silence, and constant paranoid waiting. Intense auditory hallucinations begin to play tricks. You hear heavy footsteps in the wind. You unconsciously start talking to yourself just to keep your shattered sanity barely intact. Suddenly, you notice a weak, flickering orange glow shining through the thick, dark trees. But that is only half the story. You found what truly made us human. It is fire, the greatest ancient invention that separated fragile humans from wild beasts. Fire provided life-saving warmth, scared away giant predators, and illuminated the terrifying black void. However, starting a fire completely alone without modern matches is practically impossible for you. It required immense practical experience, special dry rocks, and perfectly prepared fragile dry tinder. If your tiny campfire accidentally dies in the middle of the night, you die. This is exactly why night duty by the fire was an incredibly sacred responsibility. Here's the climax of this story. You sit by dying embers, hugging these. You stare intensely into the darkness, knowing that stepping outside the light means death. Every single second feels like an entire terrifying eternity. You flinch at every sound. Your nervous system is completely exhausted. You desperately want to sleep, but fear wins. You realize how extremely fragile human life is without our perfectly safe modern bubble. Our distant ancestors lived through this chilling, bone-deep horror every single night for millennia. Yet, the most amazing truth is that this exact primal fear made us intelligent. Absolute terror forced us to unite into large groups, build walls, and invent weapons. It powerfully developed our brains, forcing us to think ahead and plan every step. We were absolutely never the strongest or fastest animals in this brutal ancient world. We simply became the smartest ones because we desperately wanted to survive until dawn. Finally, a weak gray line of life-saving morning light appears on the dark horizon. Birds begin to sing loudly. Night predators obediently retreat back into their deep caves. You survived the horrible night. You stayed alive in the most hostile alien world. But tonight, the sun will set again, and this endless nightmare will completely restart. Our entire glowing modern civilization was built for one very specific and important reason. So we never have to sleep completely alone in a dark, terrifying primal forest. We ignited millions of bright electric lights to permanently chase away that ancient darkness. We built incredibly thick concrete walls so hungry giant beasts could never reach us. But deep inside our modern brains, that terrified, shivering ancient caveman is still alive. Think about this carefully the next time you turn off your dark hallway lights. Why do we still quickly run from the light switch to our soft beds? Because the genetic memory of those brutal nights is permanently written in our DNA. Your brain clearly remembers that absolute darkness hides deadly threats you cannot negotiate with. This ancient anxiety is the permanent price humanity paid for our incredible survival today. Look at your glowing smartphone. It is your personal modern campfire, chasing away shadows. But what if the battery completely dies, and city lights suddenly go out forever? How fast would you become that helpless, terrified creature from the distant Stone Age? The wild nature never actually disappeared. It is simply waiting patiently outside your window, waiting for our fragile artificial lights to fade so it can reclaim its rights. 100,000 years is just a very tiny blink in Earth's massive history. Evolution simply did not have enough time to erase our deepest animal survival fears. We are just temporary guests, naively hiding from eternal darkness behind thin modern glass. Our modern safety is a fragile illusion that is incredibly easy to shatter completely. Every time we sit in total darkness, we risk hearing that ancient deadly call. You would absolutely not survive that prehistoric night. None of us ever truly would. Because the only humans who survived tightly held each other by the warm fire. Isolation was always a strict death sentence, and your brain perfectly remembers it today. Appreciate the people around you right now. They are your true shelter from darkness. If you survive together, gently subscribe. More incredible stories are coming to you soon.